how to write an introduction, and we looked at a sample one very quickly. Now I'm going to take you to the outline that you'll be using this week. Each day we're going to work on a piece of this essay, and for today we're going to work on the introduction. So, I talked briefly about starting with attention getter. I suggested that you start with a quote, a shocking statement, or a question. We're writing about the Hunger Games, and we're writing about one character in particular for this essay, so it would be fine if you found a quote from the textbook that you wanted to start out with, and you just have to make sure that you cite the character who said it and the page number. You could also think about something really shocking that happened, or something shocking that relates to the story. And you can always start with a question. Can you imagine? What do you think it would feel like? And so on. After we start with our A, attention getter, we have to have a couple sentences in the middle here called connectors, and that's where the C comes from. Now, since we're writing about a novel this time, this is kind of easy. We're just going to introduce the story's title and author. So, of course, put the title and author here. And then brief background. Tell me what the story is about. I'm talking like a 1 or 2 sentence. Here's the gist of the story. Okay, so don't tell me every detail. Just here's the gist. And make sure it relates to your character, whoever you are writing about. So you've got my attention somehow. You've told me the title and the author of the novel you're talking about. You've given me a 1 or 2 sentence background, what the story is about. And finally, you end with your thesis. This is the roadmap that tells me what you will be writing about in this entire essay. So, if you wanted to use Katniss, for example, you could say Katniss in the Hunger Games is interesting, unique, the most powerful character, whatever. I've highlighted this in yellow because you change this to what you want it to say. Katniss in the Hunger Games is interesting because, and here's where you give me 3 adjectives that describe her. Whatever your adjectives are, these are what you'll be writing about in your body paragraphs. So if you say because she is strong emotionally, strong physically, and very intelligent. Okay, so let's just say these are the words that you want to use to describe Katniss. Your first body paragraph is about how she is strong emotionally, and you'll be giving me 3 examples to prove that. Your next body paragraph would talk about how she is strong physically. Again, 3 examples to prove that. And finally, in your last body paragraph, how she's intelligent with 3 examples to prove that. So I'm going to get rid of these because I want you to come up with your own. I'm not opposed to you using mine because, of course, you'll have to find your own examples and write your own links that explain them. But you are going to use your brainstorm that you completed last night to come up with your 3 characteristics to describe whichever character you chose to write about. So one more time, quickly, attention getter, get that reader to want to keep reading. If I had to lay out all 30 or 40 papers that I get, is your paper the one that's going to get me to want to read it first? Is it going to be like the best attention grabber ever? I hope so. Next, introduce the story's title and author. After that, give me just a 1 or 2 sentence background. Here's what the story is really about. And finally, your thesis statement, the most important sentence of your entire essay. It tells me what you're going to be writing about and what order you will be writing about that in.